Hey there! It's been a while since I made a video just for you. Tube. As you can probably tell from the random assortment of things on the table, I've got a lot of irons in the fire right now, including a push toward making long-form content more regularly, which makes this approximately the 1000th time I've made that push without following through. I keep putting it off for the same reason that I procrastinate anything, and that is perfectionistic anxiety. I made long-form content a bigger thing in my head than it really was, and set a standard that is above my current skill level. And so, since the only antidote to perfectionistic paralysis is to give up on perfection, I am posting this video despite the dust on the lens, despite my inability to properly focus a camera, and despite today's video being on a topic I don't usually show you guys because I think it's boring. Today, I'm showing you the 2 things I do before sending a mug to its first firing. 1, I sand the hell out of it, and 2, I compress the handle's attachment points. The method I use to secure my putts to the wheel for trimming inevitably fucks up the rim. At best, it leaves a squished rim, and at worst, it leaves a squished rim and a bunch of dangly booger shit everywhere. If I left it like that, it would lead to a really poor drinking experience for the user. So I use a scrubby to gently exfoliate any areas that need smoothing, including the bottom of the pot, the handle, and basically anywhere that feels too jagged. I want this to become someone's favorite mug, and that's not going to happen if they can't wrap their hands around it or bring it to their lips without getting shanked. I typically try to do this at a firm leather hard so that I'm not kicking dust everywhere, but as I've mentioned in some of my shorts, I'm having a hard time managing the dryness of my pieces in a new space. Regularly breathing in clay dust over multiple years can kill you, so if you're going to sand something bone dry, definitely be careful about kicking dust into the air. Make sure there's plenty of ventilation in the room, and if you want to be 100% certain, you can wear a mask. Another consequence of my mismanaging the leather hard stage for these mugs is that I often end up attaching handles to pretty dry pieces, which is a recipe for failure. But since I end up doing it so often, I've developed techniques that, for the most part, make it work, such as letting the handles get very dry before attaching them, covering the mug really well after attachment, and finally going over the attachment points with a pencil or any pointy wooden tool after it's had time to dry. Even when I attach handles properly, I inevitably get little hairline cracks around the edges of the attachment points. The good news is that you can very easily fix these kinds of cracks. I don't add any water. Even though the clay is very dry, I can still move and push the clay around, and it will kind of stick to itself and compact solidly. So once the mug is sanded and the handle is compressed, it's ready for its first firing. I think that many beginners are unaware of just how much the finish contributes to a piece looking well made. They put a lot of time and effort into the throwing and trimming, but then send it to the kiln with schmutz on it and harsh edges that break the surface of the glaze and end up looking really rough. Much like someone who has only ever filmed and edited on her phone trying to teach herself how to use a digital camera and Adobe Premiere, attention to detail and technical know-how is something beginners have to learn with practice, and guidance helps. So I hope this video was helpful in showing you some of the ways I like to finish my pieces while demonstrating that there's nothing wrong with where you are on your learning curve. Don't let unreasonable standards stop you from creating, because creating is how you get better and reach higher standards. That being said, finish is important. Don't give it your all for the entire marathon just to fall over and shit yourself 3 steps before the finish line. Give those last 3 steps as much as you gave the first 3. And I don't know, maybe don't run so damn hard that you can't make it to a bathroom like a professional. I don't run, so I don't actually know if that analogy made sense, but I hope you enjoyed this video. My goal was to make this a longer, more in-depth version of my voiceover shorts. If you could give this a like and a comment, that would go a long way to getting this video on the feeds of more of my subscribers and help me make this transition to regular long-form content. For better or for worse, I do read all of my comments, so you can comment below what kind of tutorials you want to see or stories you want to hear now that I don't have to keep it under 3 minutes. Or maybe comment about a time you pushed through your own anxiety-driven procrastination and what helped you. Next time you see me, I'll be talking you through how I make my intuition mugs step by step. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're doing great.